Yes, it's John G. Sutton here. Tales from the jails. We'll talk about drug smuggling into prison. If you've been looking at the news today, two characters down south got terms of imprisonment for throwing bottles of Vimto stacked with drugs and tobacco, cocaine and marijuana and stuff like that, throwing them over the walls of the prison to be picked up by the ship parcel patrol, which is a standard procedure, you know. But unfortunately for these guys, they were operating a system that's out of date because now they've got the prison surrounded by CCTV cameras. They were spotted by the CCTV cameras and picked up by the police virtually straight away. So one of them got 4 years. I think he got 4 years today. Another one got 3.5. So they're now inside prison. Apparently the drugs that they'd floated over the walls at a value of over £1,000 inside the jail. Seems that drugs inside the jail are worth double what they're worth outside. You know, when I was at Strangeways, one of the tricks that they used to have for getting alcohol into the prison was to get an orange, and inject it with vodka. So although the orange was allowed in, obviously the vodka wasn't, but the orange would be pumped full of vodka. So the inmate that got this, when he got back, he had a nice large vodka and orange. Yeah. Other ways of inmates getting drugs into prison, and I know one or two people have suggested different things on here, would be by bribing the staff. Yeah, now prison officers don't get particularly well paid. As I said, when I left the prison service in 1985, I was earning over 17,500 a year. That's 37 years ago now, isn't it? Wow, 37 years since I left. Today, staff are getting, I believe it's something like £20,000, £21,000 a year. I mean, how do you cope? How do you manage with that? I see that was one policewoman today was criticising Priti Patel, is it? Priti Patel, the Home Secretary. She gave a speech to the police conference, and this police detective constable said she'd done 20 years service in the police and was earning less than people who were occupied at McDonald's. I mean, the problem that the country's got, if you pay people who are in positions of low authority pittance, then you're going to get what you pay for. Did you know? I mean, I didn't believe this at first. 40% of the police today are now female. 40%. When my father was a detective inspector in the police, in charge of the CID in a place called Lee, which is near Wigan in Lancashire, there wasn't a single woman in the police service, no. Not as a police officer as such. They had what was then known as the Women Police Service. So you'd be what's known as a WPC. There were certainly no detectives in the criminal investigation department who were female, none. They had the Women's Police Service. Seriously. I think it was in 1973, somewhere about that the Women's Police Service and the male police officers were formed into one unit. Seriously. And so we were talking about bringing in illicit alcohol and drugs into prison. Yeah, well, that was one trick, bribing the staff. I did see a number of staff who had been bringing stuff in, and they generally got dismissed, required to resign, although it was a criminal offence to do it. Generally speaking, getting them to resign and get out of there was enough. I've mentioned this before in my previous broadcasts on here. There was one guy who was like a regimental sergeant major, but in the Air Force. He'd met the Queen and all this, that, and the other, and been in charge of parades that the Queen had been on. And he joined the prison service at Wormwood Scrubs. He came straight out of the RAF into the prison service, and they allocated him a quarter straight away, no messing about like I had to wait. I had to wait 6 months. Yeah, not him, straight in. And he ended up getting dismissed the service for smuggling alcohol, and he ended up running bets for the inmates, the long-term prisoners on D-Wing. Twisted him. They'd say things to you like, you know, you're not like the other officers, you're a lot smarter than them. We're not gonna treat you with disrespect like we treat them. We want you to be our friend. Oh, and by the way, I'm quite fond of teacher's whiskey, you know, if you just happen to know, and I wouldn't mind 20 Woodbines. And don't forget, you put this bet on, this is going to win today. Here's 20 quid, because these people had money inside, you know. They weren't allowed to, but they did. They had it hidden all over the place. He ended up getting stopped coming into the prison with the cigarettes and whiskey and betting slips, and got dismissed the service. He didn't last 3 months. That's sad, yeah. So, smuggling stuff into prison. I mean, I believe they're using drones as well now, flying the drones over, but they've got some means of stopping this, some electronic means. I think it disempowers the engines or something like that. Actually, smuggling stuff into prison, in my experience, is a very bad idea. You don't know what you're smuggling in. I mean, you might think, if you were an officer, you know, he's going to give me 100 quid for taking this little package in. I mean, I can do that. You don't know what's in it. It could be this stuff, what they call spice. I don't know. I've never had anything like that at all in my life. Never tried it. You know, marijuana, drugs. When I was going to the clubs in the 1960s, they had a thing called Purple Hearts. Yeah, I don't even know what they were. I never had any. Yeah. See, what I had was a big dad who was very angry if he thought you were doing that. Yeah, you wouldn't be doing it again, I'm telling you. But no, I never did, and I was never tempted and never have. My only issue these days, I have a glass of Jack Daniels 2 or 3 times a week at the weekend, never in the week. It's bad for you. Now, very kindly, I did say on my last one, if you've got anything you want to say here, say it in the comments. Leave me a nice note or whatever you think, you know. I want to know what you think. I'm going to be setting up a Q&A session when I get my grandson to help me out to do it, because I'm not technologically brilliantly competent, although I managed to do this, don't I? You know, and I've read some rather strange comments about me being, what was it? Abusing my authority. Believe me, I didn't. I didn't need to. I had enough authority. I didn't need to abuse it. And somebody else said I looked like, what was his name? Lee Marvin. Yeah. I thought Lee Marvin was a great actor. In, what was it they said, in Paint Your Wagon. Yeah. Did you see that? All right. Hey. Seeing as you've had the nerve to poke fun at me, you've asked for it. I was born under a wandering star. I was born under a wandering star. Mules are made for towing, mules are made to pack. I never seen a sight that didn't look better looking back. I was born under a wandering star. Do you know where hell is? Hell is in hello. Heaven is goodbye. Forever it's time for me to go. I was born under a wandering star. Arr. John G. Sutton, Tales from the Jails. You asked for that. Please do subscribe. More tomorrow. Bye.